So I honestly believe that every guitarist should learn a few scales, and I'd love to talk about why. Welcome to Blazing Guitars. So I've known a couple guitarists, especially really beginner guitarists, who are really hesitant to learn scales. And I think the reason is because they want to just do chords and to be able to lead worship in like a small group, and they don't see a necessity for scales. But I think there are three main reasons why you should really learn scales, and I think they serve a great purpose inside of music. So the first reason is that if you learn scales, it gives you a better foundation for understanding music in general. So a lot of music theory has to do with scales. And if you can understand the scales and have a context to learn that theory in, then it can help you apply it. And that theory doesn't just pertain to scales, it pertains to chords as well. So if you know a major scale, that gives you all of the notes that you need to play any worship song, 90% of worship songs, 99% of worship songs, because most worship songs follow kind of basic music theory. So if you can learn a major scale and then you start looking into theory a little bit, what you'll find is that you've learned the big key to all of that theory because it all kind of resides in the major scale. The second reason is that it can help your finger dexterity a lot. So when you're playing chords, you might want to do So I'm actually just using a really basic scale in all of that. But because I know the scale and I know the theory behind the scales and the key that I'm in, I can just easily add notes to my chord playing, which makes it a little bit interesting. And not only that, but I'm also just finger picking, which can add a ton to your repertoire. So if you're just a chord guy, but you're starting to work on some scales, that it can just help build up some finger dexterity and just give you a good platform to start adding some more interesting stuff to your chords. And then the final thing that I think is really helpful with scales is that it can help you learn the neck of the guitar. So for example, if you learn all the modes of a key, then you know all the notes in your key all the way up and down the neck, which can be extremely helpful and just gives you, as I said, a framework to continue to play. So if you can do that, then it just builds you up as a player and just gives you a lot more clarity and a lot more structure behind what you're doing. And if you start doing some exercises, like maybe this one, for example, then that can just help your playing because you're building up repetitive motion that you'll need to do all the time. And then on top of that, if you ever decide that you want to move on from just playing chords and want to start doing some lead stuff and some solo stuff, then you have a framework that you've already built. So I hope that was helpful. If you're just beginning, I know that scales can be kind of scary and they're a little bit boring if you don't know how to use them. So what I would suggest is learning like the pentatonics, for example. I have a video linked above. If you go watch that and download the scale charts, or those will also be linked in the description, then you can start building up some more tools in your toolbox. That's kind of what music is all about. If you're learning an instrument, you want as many tools in your toolbox that you can get your hands on. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you would like to join my Discord or support me on Patreon, both of those are linked in the description below. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week.